واحفظ الجزائر من عبث العابثين وكيد الكائدين وعدوان
The villages around us, the call to prayers is happening. Wow, it's the most perfectly, I think we've ever heard it, being that there's no one around us, and it shows you're in the old Roman ruins. And then you've got probably one of the newly built mosques in the village. Wow. In advance, so you'd not be able to come here on your own, you'd have to do a tour, and we're starting in a blooming museum. We don't normally do museums, but you can see that here they've removed a lot of the mosaics from the ancient city and they've put them on the walls to preserve it all the way around 360 degrees, and they are just incredible. They've been preserved so well. I love this one. They're depicting the scene of the Romans arriving in Africa, hunting the lions to take them back to the Colosseum.
And just outside the museum you can get an unbelievable panoramic view of this ancient city. So entrance is 130 dinar, which is around 50 pence, and we pretty much have the whole Roman ruin site to ourselves. I think that is just mind-blowing, and look at this view.
This is incredibly impressive, not just the Roman ruins, but the fact that you are surrounded by the lush green countryside of Algeria. This actually dates back to 96 AD and it was built for the Roman war veterans. Over 46 hectares, did you say?
42 hectares.
Wow, over 42 hectares. It's huge, it's hot, and like Molly said, we pretty much have the entirety of this place to ourselves. This is why you need to come to Algeria.
We're actually starting backwards in time. Firstly in the Christian quarter, which is about like the 4th or 5th century. This actually was the cathedral, and the animal mosaics that we saw inside the museum were actually laid on this floor. So you have to use your imagination. What you saw in there is what this would have looked like. What a place for it.
Alright, welcome to the Severian temple dedicated to Septimus Severus and his wife Julia Domna in 229, when it was built by Alexander Severus. So after they died, they became deities, and the temple was dedicated to this family.
If this was Rome, or this was Greece, you would be surrounded by a lot of annoying tourists, of tour groups, but at this moment in time, we are pretty much, I think we could be, the only people in the entire complex. It's kind of peaceful, it's tranquil, the rolling green hills in the distance. A beautiful Roman temple behind me.
Welcome to Jemila, the beautiful one.
Caesar Sancta Curbis Roma Augustus, nom legatum Sant Aquiculitanorum missit, Senatorum Publium Quintilium Bilellum.
So Bilal is a little bit of a show-off. He can speak 7 languages, including Latin, which he taught himself during that 2-3 years that we don't like to talk about anymore. But this is the main theatre, dating back to around 190 AD, and this used to hold up to 3,000 people who would probably perform a little bit like Bilal in fluent Latin. You're making me feel terrible. 7 languages. We're lazy. Us British people, we're lazy. Yeah. Of all the impressive theatres, temples, I think we have found my favourite part of the ancient Roman city. This was the public toilet. So you come here, sit on your little hole, or whether you're a man. Would this be for men or women, or both?
I have no idea about the segregation.
We're not sure whether it was segregated or not, but obviously if you're sitting down in a man, you have a number 2, or you could come over, you could stand up. We've looked at the view. I mean, imagine standing here having a wee with views like this. I'm jealous. From toilets to the main road, Cardo Maximus.
Is that your Latin or whatever it was?
I now speak 2 languages.
It's really, really impressive. I will tell you though, it is so hot. I don't know what's happened. like the temperature has just soared. So we're walking around here and we're just like, wow, any bit of shade. Right now the street doesn't have any shade though.
You hit the road, hit the beaches of Bajaya. Good morning. How are you? Good. See some wild monkeys. This is why we decided to come to Algeria's coast and spend the next few days to see these hidden gems of the Mediterranean. We've had our breakfast and I've actually just realised I need to show you this. This is our ridiculous balcony, by the way, the views of the mountains behind. That we have a hidden blooming balcony. Look at these views. Not just beaches, mountains. Unreal. We're going to meet our friends from Fancy Yellow.
That is because it looks a bit wobbly, but this view is unreal.
There are not many cities in the world where to access another part of the town you have to walk through a tunnel that has been carved into the side of the mountain, but we are now walking towards the Sidi Masjid Bridge, which is actually the most famous in all of Constantine. I kind of get confused. There's so many bridges, there's so many ridges, there's so many gorges, and there's so many here in the Algerian Mediterranean.
Everywhere you look, it's unbelievable. Like, look at this watercolour.
This is 10 minutes from the city centre. I'm not sure I trust them, Molly. It's coming to say hello. Huge blooming monkeys. Cheers.
Cheers! We have met back up with our guide Bilal, who is going to be showing us all that Constantine has to offer. His city and all of the bridges. He's actually taken us to the balcony, or the boulevard of the abyss, which actually overlooks the Rommel River.
For two main dishes, one of which was pretty much a show being brought out on fire, but we've now walked down below and we are now crossing the wobbly bridge that was built in 1925 to get across to the train station. And Molly, can you feel it? Come here quickly.
It's like jelly. If you've eaten too much at the restaurant.
Bounce.
I don't know if you can see.
I think you just look a little bit crazy.
This gets even better. There's a blooming waterfall underneath the bridge. This is pont de chute. You used to be able to get you used to be able to get an elevator down. It's not actually in use anymore, but the bridge was built so people could get on the elevator down and then cross over to a swimming pool that's around the corner that isn't open at the minute either. I could really do with it right now.
So this is where the Rommel River leaves the city and the gorge turns into a waterfall before filling out into the Algerian countryside. This is outrageous. It's a shame that apparently the swimming pool on the other side of this bridge isn't opening until the summer, because it is incredibly hot, and I'm now thinking whether I could survive the jump into the waterfall. I can't believe there's so much water. It's so hot. It hasn't rained for a long time, so I'm surprised that the waterfall is flowing so quickly. So the waterfall actually leads to the gorge below the city of Constantine. We are currently walking below the bridges, below the main town centre, and there's like natural made bridges all along, the river flowing beside us, and apparently there's a tunnel. We've been told by Bilal it's a surprise that we have to go into this muddy tunnel cave. I don't know. I'll trust him, I suppose.
This is the tunnel that leads you all the way through the gorge. We're blocked at one end because some water's got in and it's very muddy. But look how dark it is, and it's just us lot walking through. It's a bit scary.
Good morning. So that was...
This is the quirkiest looking restaurant I've ever seen. I think Bilal was correct.
This has got to be the quirkiest looking restaurant ever. It's like a mishmash of everything. Got like an old steering wheel of a boat, and then you can have your dinner next to a blooming aquarium.
This is probably one of the coolest restaurants we've ever been to. This is restaurant Igasan, and it looks out over the Milas Liman Bridge, aka the Wobbly Bridge.
Look at these views.
Look at this.
Sit here, have a drink, have our lunch,
and actually,
and watch the people wobble.
Because it's so hot outside, we have the whole terrace to ourselves.
Saha.
Saha, cheers. This looks so good. So refreshing. So we have a mojito, of course, in Algeria.
That Che Guevara influence.
You got to drink a mojito, and I am so happy. I can't tell you how happy I am. The menu has traditional items on the menu, so we have 2 traditional dishes come in our way. I can't remember what they are though.
Thank you very much. Wow.
Wow, this looks amazing.
So This is a show.
This is so cool. We literally have a plate on fire. Wow.
Thank you very much. It's a hit. We obviously had to come inside to eat our food because that show could not have taken place outside. Wow, this is a tagine with meatballs, but that was probably better than the food. It came out. Look at this place. This is lovely. You're surrounded by these huge jaggedy rocks. In the background you can see the rest. This looks good. Hummus.
This looks different.
It's like posh hummus. Pull up, block all the cars and jump back in. And we have made it to Les Plage Les Aquads, I think. I don't know, it is busy. The car park was packed, we only just about got a space. I think all the locals have come here today because it is, like I said, nearly 40 degrees, so absolutely everyone is out. Ah yeah, it's not sandy. It's like a rocky beach. It's a rocky beach for everyone. Look at this, incredible. Everyone's jumping in off the rocks. You've got the views of Cape Carbon behind. We'll have a dip. We'll dip our toes. We're hoping for a sandy beach. We'll dip our toes. Change your plan. We're not swimming. It's full of like school kids because school finished last week, and for Molly to go swimming, maybe in a bikini, it might be a little bit awkward. So we're going to find I thought this would be a local spot, being that it's hidden, but it seems like all the locals and everyone from the rest of the country has decided to come here. But I mean, it is as beautiful as it gets, but incredibly busy. On the way to the next beach, you've just quickly stopped off at the Kasbah of Bejaya, and the old fortress walls that are behind me date back to around the 11th century. It feels more like a castle.
It does, it looks more like a castle. You've got, this bit's been renovated so it looks completely brand new, but the old walls, they literally surround it. They go for so long. Oh my god, we're being surrounded by pigeons now. Pigeons are outside the Kasbah.
Thank you, Saha. We have made it to Auberge Les Tais, which is also a restaurant, a bar, and even a nightclub. It's about a 45-minute drive outside of the town, but we definitely know this place is open. We're gonna go in here. We're gonna eat first?
Yeah.
We'll eat. I think we'll eat first and then go for a swim. But this looks, wow, look at this place. The old brickwork style. Very European, I'd say. It's also a hotel as well. And you have like beachfront villas.
It's beautiful. Do you know what? Now this is kind of reminding me of like that Albanian restaurant, you know, that was inside. It wasn't quite on the sea, but I think it might be the brickwork. It looks kind of like that sort of vibe it's giving it to me. I can see signs for Beaufort as well. Beaufort.
Fingers crossed, 40-minute drive for beer. Hello.
Can we have a table for four?
Yes.
With sea view?
With sea view outside.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
This is nice.
This is lovely, and even better, they've got Heineken umbrellas. I mean, this is the place
This is
to
the
come
first
in
place I've
Bajaya.
seen that is outside in Algeria that you can get a beer.
This is stunning. Such a good idea to come this way. I mean, it was like an hour out, but
Go to the top of here. There's no chance. We're lazy. We're lazy, so we'll do the short version.
literally we haven't even walked very far because everywhere we stop, it's like, oh my god, look at this. I just can't believe it. So, like Matt said, we were actually going to aim to get up there. It's too long. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I had monkeys.
We are just walking further up into the national park and you can just stop off, and everywhere you look, it's unbelievable. Like, look at this watercolour. This view is kind of giving me like Thailand vibes. It reminds me a bit of like when we stayed on Phi Phi Island and you can see all the shapes in the mountains, in the cliffs with the boats out. It's just beautiful.
This is 10 minutes from the city centre. You come through, there's all souvenirs. There are huge, look at this guy, he's massive. And that view behind, even better. I'm not sure what type they are. I think they might be macaws. Macaws? It's coming towards me. Look at these. You've got a view like that, and then you've got these huge. I'm not sure I trust them, Molly. It's coming to say hello. Huge blooming monkeys. Who's your friend, Molly?
Oh my god. They look like lions. Look at how cute they are. I mean,